I finished up most of the pressing responsibilities for this week, and I just feel relaxed now. There's nothing really that I have to worry about finishing, so I'm just kind of relaxing, experimenting, and just trying to let the wire and some creativity and just have a little fun like you're supposed to do. So I came up with this earring. This is actually very small. I have it magnified, but it's a 6mm amethyst wrapped in 22 gauge silver. I cut off the same piece of silver intending to make earrings, but I'm not sure I can remember half of how I just did this, so let's give it a shot and see. Might come out different. If it comes out close enough, it'll be earrings, and if not, that'll be two different pendants. But I bring the amethyst to the middle, and let's see, let's try to get it right in the middle, because that one I cut it really close. I used up every bit of wire. I don't even think I cut it. So crimping it and wrapped it around before I did anything else. This 22 gauge is so nice and soft, plus it's this good silver. It's not that hard stuff. So I came around like this, and then I made my basic loop. I remember that much. And then, let me see. I think that is when I came around the back here and did this loop across the top. I'd like to make them opposite since they're earrings, but oh, it came out opposite. That's weird. Okay, so anyway, all right, loop diagonal across the front, and I think, yeah, so I kind of curved it a little bit and then wrapped it around my top loop, and then went to make a bigger loop above that. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to finish this whole thing. Alright, well, I think I remember it, but for some reason I don't have enough wire this time. Maybe I made the loops much tighter. Basically, I went like this, and then I came around the entire piece. Oh, yeah, I think I might still make it. I just gotta pull this a little tighter, and then come around the entire piece, have like a floating loop. It's tight enough that it's not, and they're earrings, so they're not going to take too much of a beating, so you can get away with this. Yeah, yep. Have this nice floating loop. I'm just playing with it to keep the amethyst in the very center and see how tight I can make it so it matches. I think that's about right. And then this is just scarfed up at the top. I think I scarfed it slightly more on the first one, but that's one thing you can get away with having different. Nobody notices that, except you, the maker. So, yep. It's coming across once. I'm just going to tuck these right here. Just make sure they're tucked just enough that they're not going to come out and scratch. See how close we came. Not bad. Cute little guys, aren't they? It's always playing, especially with thinner gauge. When it's decorative and it's sculptural, you can just keep playing with them to get them just the way you want. And there we go. Earring hook time. Voila. Beautiful. Let's make a matching pendant. This is Amethyst teardrop. I'm going to do a pattern I've done many times before, so if you've seen this already, just don't be concerned. But you may not have. This is about, it's about 1 inch by 3/4 of an inch, or you could say 2 centimeters by 1 centimeter. And I'm going to stick with the 22 gauge. I really like this. I'm take about 16 inches of it. I have this nice little tiny loop at the top to anchor it. There's no hole drilled, but this works about as well. So I'm going to put it through. And it's a very pretty purple, but once I go back to normal, I have the camera lightened. Watch this. Go back to normal, and it looks very dark. It's actually not that dark when you see it. All right, so I have it in the middle. I'm going to crimp these, hold it, twist them a couple times. Actually, no, I'm going to do the thing where I'm just going to keep twisting them. Make the whole bale nice twisted silver. That's always like that look. Let's see, that should be enough for the bale. Maybe whenever I think it's enough, I always give it a little extra because there you go. Okay. Now I'll get a round nose. Get it in the widest part, and oh, I actually made too much that time. That's okay. We'll roll this over. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. This is the only part is making it tight here, because when this little thing is at the top, it wants to come up high and have this long neck before the bale, and I like to make it tighter than that, so I just got to keep pressing it back. And okay, I think that's good. Come around. Come around across the front. Come around again. We'll just keep wrapping it around and around diagonal till we get to the bottom, and then just come up to the top, because that's nice and easy. This time we'll give it a little loop here. Let's pull that loop tight. Let the strands separate a little bit. Sometimes that gives it a pretty effect instead of having them super close. And then sometimes giving a little wave back and forth is pretty too. That's pretty much it. I think that pretty much covered the whole stone without covering the beauty of it, just kind of accentuating it. All right, so now we'll just come straight up the back. This is a very simple design you can do over and over and over and over and over. Just holding everything tight, coming up the back. I'm gonna come around here and scarf it. Remember, pretend this loop in the front is a face, and we're just coming around and around, stacking the strands as we wrap it around like a scarf. It's going to be warm for the winter. Yeah, see, this still bale came up a little higher than I wanted, but it is acceptable. And then once we're high enough, come to the back, cut it halfway across. Be a very stickler about cutting it just right, because then you want to tuck these sharp edges in by just pinching them into that bowl that the scarf creates. Some of you heard me say this like a gazillion times. Now I'm going to just play with these in front, just get them more how I want. There we go. It's nice. Now my only concern is this is snaggable. Someone could just bump this and the whole thing would stick out wonky, and we want wire wrapping to be tighter than that. In the past, I'd smear some E6000 on the back, but I try to avoid E6000 holding stuff to stones now, because as it gets rubbed, that stuff can slowly start to flake off and turn kind of white and gummy instead of the clear. So I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit of wire and figure out a way to just give that a stronger anchor. I'm going to crimp this right here, just the tiniest crimp. And again on the other one. A little bit more. I want to really have something to grab onto. That's the only point of crimping this particular part. Let's see what it did to the front. Oh, I kind of like that. Separated this a lot more. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like that. All right, let's crimp these two so we can grab them. Yep, I'm liking this. So we'll take I don't think I have 26. I'd take a thinner gauge. I think I'm just gonna have to stick with the 22, but I'll thread it through here. Now it's just fingernails lifting. You can't get it through. Fingernail can be as powerful a tool as any of your pliers. All right. Let's stick that one up through there. Give it a little fingernail help. And we're up and in. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, thinner wire would be fighting me a lot less. But whatever, use what you got. I want that to stay there. Oh, I know, I should have wrapped this first. I should have done my twist first. I neglected. That was my mistake. So now that this guy, I'm gonna go under twice. This is all just mechanical. This is like tying down a loose something or other in any other kind of a thing. This is not the aesthetic part. This is completely the functional part. So it doesn't have to look good because it's the back of the piece. Until somebody tries it on and has the back facing forward and thinks, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. And then you say no, and you turn it around and they're like, oh, that looks even better. People do that all the time. Cracks me up. They look at the piece for 5 minutes straight, and then they try it on and totally put it on backwards and think that's how it's supposed to go. All right, so these wires that are left, I have nowhere to put them but to tuck them in the bowl again, and that's what I intend to do. I'm going to go straight diagonal across the front here, which adds like another little fun dimension right there. And I'm going to do the same thing, just cut it right here. And, oh, again, you want to really, when you're tucking, don't be afraid to be a stickler about getting the exact amount. Because tucking is a very specific, sometimes you have so many options you can just shove it anywhere, but in this particular case we're very limited. There's one place we can put it and round that out a little more. We want it to be in there tight and never come out, never scratch any human. All right, I think we're good. I think this will work.